Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Java with Jibs. We've been talking about horror stories and things that you could go through if you don't hire an attorney or a realtor. My name is Jim Meyer, broker associate of Remax Gold. Now you have a friend in the real estate business. I'm here with my good friend Jim Filippi from the Filippi Law Firm. Jim, good morning. Thanks for stopping by.
Good morning. Do you have anything special in your coffee cup this morning? I don't think I've asked you this week.
You haven't because you
Oh
don't
my gosh.
care.
I
My
care.
coffee cares about the taxpayers, just like Gavin Newsom. Okay, so Jim, I want to ask you something. This is a mystery to me, especially in the last year or so. I've come across some real idiot attorneys, and I don't get it because I know what you've gone through, and I watched Better Call Saul. I know that if Slip and Jimmy went through a lot to get his what do you call it, an attorney license, or do you call it, what is it called? The law degree,
Well,
right? The law degree. It's very, very difficult. You think you have to be very intelligent. Uh, I can't talk about specific people or situations, but I've met some. I should edit this out later. Some moron attorneys. How is that possible?
I definitely don't want to disparage any other attorney, but I hear you and I understand it, and sometimes I make similar observations. But the reality of it is we're human at the end of the day, and when you're talking about the bar examination, and I talk about this a lot. I'm a law professor as well, so I teach law students. And a lot of the times there's questions about the bar exam, and I tell them, hey, this is a test of minimum competency, and it's minimum. And even though there's a whole bunch of people that take that exam and fail it all the time, and we've all heard those stories, right? That bar exam is truly the minimum competency, and just by taking it doesn't mean that you're some sort of legal wizard. You got to have the desire to spend 3 or 4 years going through law school, then 3 or 4 months in bar prep, bar exam, and all the other there's other exams that we don't usually talk about that are involved in the licensing process for an attorney. And you go through all that process, but all you did was prove that you're minimally competent. And you know, not saying that I'm some wizard, but the bar exam for me was easy, and I passed it my first time. Um, and shouldn't say easy. I would say it was complicated. It was difficult, but I didn't have a problem with it. I found it doable, and I got through it the first time. There's others that struggle with it, and I'm not saying that that's the litmus test for how the attorney is going to perform once they start practicing. But in hindsight, looking back on now having practiced for several years, is that it really wasn't all that hard in comparison to actual practice of law. It truly was just testing whether I can get through the daily, rigors of what an attorney does. And so, yeah, they get through all that, but it doesn't mean you're going to find, the legal, I was going to throw a joke in there about Slip and Jimmy, the legal tiger of Slip and Jimmy of Saul Goodman. Um, they have to do that on their own. That's one of those things that each attorney makes a decision after they get their bar card. And, are they going to be the ones that kind of just goes to work, punches a clock, and, does the minimum necessary to pick up a paycheck? Or are they going to be ones that are going to be constantly educating themselves, constantly, striving to be better, critiquing yourself, having others critique you? There's things that I go through. I beat myself up probably more than anybody could possibly beat myself up or beat me up. And part of that's just, it's like any other knife, any other instrument, you got to constantly sharpen it. And I take pride in that. And some attorneys don't. And that's why, using your words, there's other attorneys that aren't are morons. I don't want to use that term, but it's your term, that aren't as great. That's because they've made the decision not to continuously sharpen their instrument. And I think that's applicable in other areas, right? There's some great doctors, there's some great real estate agents like yourself, and there are some that aren't so great. And that's where, when we talked about yesterday, obviously hiring a professional is important, but hiring the right professional is even more important, because you want to make sure that that professional is continuously improving themselves. And I find that's to ultimately benefit their clients
Right.
because
There's something called common sense that I
yeah.
guess you don't need common sense to be able to pass a test.
No, no, you don't. And you know, there's one thing also that I run into a lot. I run into folks that talk about how their attorney was rude to them or wasn't empathetic to their needs, and you know, has basically poor bedside manner. And I take that as a badge of honor because I remember a time when I didn't understand any of this. And so instead of trying to impress you with my vast legal vocabulary, I do my best to explain things in a way that you understand it. I do my best to understand where you are, to empathize with your issues. And I demand that same from all of my attorneys that work for me. And, you know, if you look at our reviews, people generally love us. I think we've gotten nothing but 5-star reviews on Google. I mean, we're up to like 37 or 38, almost 40 reviews of actual real clients, not bots, actual real clients that have said very positive things about us. And I take pride in that. And it's important that not only do we provide you great service as an attorney, but we also make you feel like we're hearing you because we are. So
Cool. That reminds me, if you bought or sold a house from me and you haven't given me a review on Zillow yet, please do. All of my reviews are 5-star. So don't change that trend, please. Okay, Jim, you can come back next time for another exciting episode.
you know it, I'll be here.
All right. See you guys later. Thank you very much.